Silence, no dog barking, no nothing. Now we're in the classroom live. We are in the classroom live. If you need to mute your mic, Michael, I know those dogs. I am with a good friend of mine. Okay, I'm going to start the record here. I am with a good friend of mine. His name is Michael Legel. He is CEO of First Alternative Therapies. Just recently, we talked about Avasia.
Yes.
Yes. I just want to throw it in there too. That's the way I've healed my body and also managed pain after a car accident that I was in 3 years ago. So today we're going to talk about First Alternative Care. It's the telemedicine that I've been telling you about for about a year. Well, we've got some news, some great news with Michael Legel and the First Alternative Care team, because we are going to offer even better discounts. So fasten your seatbelts and let's learn together. Michael, it's time to dance, okay?
Lily, thank you for having me.
Oh, not yet, not yet. We've got the music. It's time to dance.
Okay.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here, right here. And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friends. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are tuning in to the classroom for the first time, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, Michael Legel is someone that I've known now probably 9 years. I have worked with many of their products. As you know, I bring ancillary services to doctors that are natural and holistic and ways that we can heal that no one has ever made us aware of. And so that is how my journey began with the Legel family, with First Alternative Therapies. But about a year or so ago, I got a call from Michael saying, oh my gosh, look at what we've got now. And I've been telling you about First Alternative Care, which is 24/7 non-urgent general family practice, 24/7 dermatology, and 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling for $45. But because you are dancing on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show classroom, we have an incredible deal for you. But I'm not going to tell you about it just yet, because I know that once I tell you about it, you won't listen to anything else I tell you, because you'll be calling or going onto my website, and I want to have you hear everything that we talk about and why it is important. Now, there is telemedicine out there, and the president's been talking about telemedicine, and I've been exposed to telemedicine pretty much my whole career. But here's the deal. Whenever you use telemedicine, it's a per click or per use. And what I've been telling you for the last year, and I don't know if you get this, is that it's unlimited for your entire household. Who's your household? We're going to talk about that too. But you need to listen up, because for those of you who have inadequate health care or have a high copayment or lost your job, or maybe you are paying for COBRA, if it even exists anymore, you're going to want to take advantage of what we're about to talk about today. And First Alternative Care is what I use whenever I want to be served by my doctors in my own home. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful that Michael Legel is here to do just that. Thank you, Michael, for tuning in and joining us and sharing your wisdom today.
Lily, it's good to be back on with you.
you're so relaxed, and I love that about you. You have a heart, and I want you to share a little bit about your background. But what I have known about you, and it's been consistent all the 9 years that we've been together, is that you truly want to inform people of what you didn't know before you lost your father. And the second thing is you want affordable health care for the world, but you're starting with Florida and the nation as well. So tell us a little bit about your background and how that desire was planted in your heart.
Sure. I was in a different business when I first started. I was in the promotional product industry, and I had the luxury out of college by working with a really great manufacturing company and getting to be a part of a lot of large deals, like where I negotiated with, like, I'll give you an example. I met 2 presidents before I was even 27. And Prime Minister of Ireland and the Dominican Republic president, I got to go to their houses. I got to do business with them. I got to negotiate with Visa and Facebook on a concept a long time ago. It was fun being part of these big projects. And when you're part of these things, you learn that anything's possible because you can set yourself to accomplishing these things. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden one day, my whole life went through a ripple effect because I lost somebody that was so important to me so suddenly. And when I got that phone call, I remember where I was. I was at this 5-star hotel. I was enjoying myself. I was there for this big conference. And then all of a sudden, everything became shattered. Nothing made sense anymore. And as I got into the system, I started learning more about it. And unfortunately, look, there's a lot of medication out there that is safe. There's a lot of medication out there that helps a lot of people. We wouldn't be pushing this envelope as we go there. But there is some fallacies that are being presented on mainstream medical all the time. And the bottom line is that our profits are now are taking more than our safety of our healthcare. And so when I learned that my father was just a statistical number that only meant $1,000 to our healthcare system, mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but that shook me up. Mm-hmm. And I was at a point in my life where I thought I can do anything. So I've set my goal that I want to be a part of this real change of healthcare. And I don't mean that every healthcare system or every insurance company, everything is doing it the wrong way. What I do mean is that I do believe that with more transparency, more education, more opportunity, and a better way, a safer way of looking at how to do everything. And that's one of the things I love about your show, Lily, is you're just bringing things to the table that you know are safe. Yes. You know, and that's what really inspired me. And we talked about this before. You know, we got to a point where we're in 48 states, 900 cities, 5 countries. And as we did that doing technology, the opportunity to look at more and more things became apparent.
You're talking about Avasia, right?
Avasia. We've got some there. We started a CLIA lab that we got that does a gut check test. We've got these things that we are putting together, this playbook about this. But the one thing I want to make sure is clear is everything I'm about, everything I'm a part of is safe. Mm-hmm. That's what matters to me the most. The safety of the loved ones, because every person could have been my father. Every person in our care coverage, every person that we take care of, every person that we think about has a ripple effect. They matter so much. And if healthcare, they're so concerned with profits and they've gotten so confused what the real priority is that I would like to I'm creating a company, if I continue to go in there, that 10, 20 years from now could be the beacon that I'm hoping to do. And that's really what First Alternative Care is. It's my official launching point to what we're creating. And we start by giving people the access to things that shouldn't be so costly to them, which is an opinion of a doctor personally.
Correct.
All right. And yes, they can write you scripts and that could get sent to your pharmacy. And yes, there are things that are part of dermatology that you think about right now when you're like, maybe I should go get this checked, but I don't because it's so costly. It's not going to cover every single thing, but it is going to be the point of saying, I need to be proactive with my healthcare. And that's what I want people to understand. There are so many people that are reactive that I'm creating a force that's proactive. And what that means is we're going to work on things. And Lily, you were one of the most proactive people I know, you know?
Thank you.
And
Thank
so
you.
like we want to get ahead of the time. And so with the software we've talked about before that takes in your epibiogenetics, that takes in your blood, takes in your DNA, and it gives you a blueprint by using artificial intelligence to go through every single clinical study. And when it does that, it tells you a system status that shows us where we need to focus. And I do have and I have to work with healthcare because I got to work with your hospital systems because that's the truth. I want to build a system where I'm working with your catastrophic hospital systems if you need to go to the hospital, but we're working on all sorts of these things. And the Avasia, huge part. Technology like grounding therapy, pulse electromagnetic field, huge part because they're safe.
They are. They are. And I want to add something here because I don't know if this came across clear. We have talked about this before in the classroom, but your dad received a normal dose of medication that normally is okay for some people and taken for the right reason, the right dose. But for your father, it was lethal. And within seconds, he bled to death. And so that is part of this first alternative care, that it has check marks so that won't happen to you or someone you love.
He had an adverse event that led to a stroke. A few days later, he ended up passing. The adverse event that happens in 1 out of 30 people they prescribe the medication to.
1 in 30, that's too much.
And that study is available from the University of Maryland that showed that they should be doing pharmacogenomics tests and more things. But the amount of money that people make in this process in between there that no one talks about is absurd. And I swear to you, I thought it was pharmacies, but after partnering with so many pharmacies and learning, man, there's all sorts of levels to PBMs and to things out there where they're taking the margins and it doesn't make any sense where the money's going. And so I'm looking at this from ground floor. Let's start from scratch. Let's look at this and go, okay, what do we need to create the perfect coverage? And I do need doctors' opinions. I need technology that can help solve major medical problems. Yes. I need to be able to identify things 10 years in advance before they happen. And that's really what we're doing right now. And then if you have to go to the hospital care, what's our follow-up system from that? Yes. And that insurance that we're talking about, the word insurance, I don't want to be called an insurance, but that's where I'm heading towards because I'm looking at everything that we're out there, and some of the most profitable companies in the United States, 3 out of the 10 are healthcare related. How does that make any sense?
Because it's not about healthcare, Michael. It's about sick care. And so what I love about First Alternative Care is that it's very proactive. And so I just want to share a little bit more about First Alternative Care and the generosity of the legal family. And I have to go back because I just had a flashback. The first time that you and I met, we were working with DNA testing with each other. And we were talking, and every time I'd say something about the show or the classroom or whatever, at the time it was a show. Now it's a classroom. You kept saying, you need to meet my mom. You sound like my mom. You need to meet my mom.
Yeah.
And so that's how it all started, that we started, and once you started growing, because your mom was the one that was the founder of First Alternative Therapies. And she was the one that brought this in, and it all works out perfect because from there, you've come out with Gut Check, which is for people that are having problems with allergies, or maybe you can't release weight. And so this will tell you where your inflammation is. What are the foods that are affecting you? But today we're not going to talk about that. And we're not going to talk about Avasia. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But that's a way where different frequency. We had Tim Smith. You could check out the class that we did with Tim Smith a couple of weeks ago. So today we're talking about First Alternative Care. And I show you this all the time. And I tell you about First Alternative Care during my sponsors time. And so this is what you get. For those of you who don't have insurance, or maybe you have insurance, but can't even afford the copayment, because that's a problem too. Or maybe you can afford the copayment and you do have insurance, but you don't have the time to sit in the lobby, especially now where everybody is a germaphobe, wearing a mask and being afraid of touching anything. Maybe you don't have the time to sit in a lobby, and you can call a doctor or a practitioner in your area anywhere around the world. So if you travel, you can take advantage of this, anyone. and you can pick up the phone for whatever reason. And I've shared stories about what's happened to me in the past. Within half an hour to 45 minutes, you have a qualified. Oh, do you have a one up me? Are you going to one up me?
Our coverage right now has made a very, very big movement to make it within 15 minutes. And it's even on every access. So within 15 minutes, and I have tested this on Saturdays, Sundays, 8 a.m., whenever.
I've tested it at midnight twice.
Yeah, 15 minutes, you're going to get the call. Now, you don't get to choose exactly what doctor you want to when you're doing the 15 minutes. All you do is click on, I want the first available, and someone's going to call you within 15 minutes and have that doctor available. Whether you want to see them by video or if you want to just talk to them over the phone, it's perfectly fine.
Listen, I'm telling you, this is the best thing. And I was listening to President Trump yesterday in his presser that he was talking about how telemedicine is changing medicine. And they're changing the way they take away the middle guy so that medication is affordable now. Not that I am pro medication. I am pro do whatever you can to live a healthy life so you don't have to take medication. But if you do have to take it temporarily, because my registered service mark is you can take a pill, you can take responsibility. If you have to take it temporarily to get you through that bridge and change your lifestyle, then that's the way to do it. So this is unlimited general family practice. Non-urgent. So if you break a bone, still go to the emergency room.
You break a bone, you're gonna have to go towards, yes, you're gonna be, and you're gonna want, look, it's not gonna give you access to the pain pills. And if you want to get access to pain pills, you're going to have to go through you have to go
through the right channels.
Right.
So this is
there should be that way.
Yes. Non-urgent, unlimited, non-urgent, well, dermatology, which I need to contact them. And you can do that with dermatology, unlimited, and 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling. Plus there's a portal.
It also gives you access to book psychiatry at a per hour rate, which in a lot of cities right now don't have any outpatient services. So if you don't have any outpatient services and the cost of going into an inpatient service is astronomical. Yes. Like in Stewart, it's like $5,000 a week if that's not covered in to do an inpatient. Think about that for a second. So we can help get the original barriers. If you're worried about something that's wrong, it's $250 for per hour, but they're actionable. They can help. They can get you that medication if you need.
What's $250? $2.50 or
$250 an hour for psychiatry.
Okay, so that's all changed for psychiatry. What about talk therapy?
You get 3 free behavioral health.
Okay, that's still good. Okay, I thought you were saying that had changed. Okay.
No, I'm just saying it's available when you're doing it.
Okay, so you have 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling, and those 3 hours, Brendan told me, is equal to 9 office visits. Because you're home, you're in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to get dressed. You don't have to go out. It's instant. That is for your entire household. Your entire household. And your entire household could include your parents. It could include grandchildren. It could also include your child off in college. That is a household. It also could be for students in a home in college or whatever. That is also a household. It is normally $45 a month, which I believe is what I have subscribed to, and I absolutely love it. But today, because you are a listener of the Lillian McDermott radio show Classroom, you're a follower, you have liked me on my web pages and my social media, and you are watching today, for your entire household, it's going to be for $19.99.
And here's the best part, Lily.
Wait. I want people to absorb this. Let them have their moment. This is health care, proactive health care. I feel like John the Baptist spreading this from the mountaintop. Do you get this? That this is unlimited, not per call, with the exception of the 3 hours a year for the entire household of behavioral health. But everything else is unlimited. So if your kid wakes up with pink eye and you don't have time to go to the doctor, you call right there. And if the other one wakes up and they have it too, you call right there. And it's the same price, $19.99. And Michael Legel and the First Alternative Care team is offering this for the Lillian McDermott radio show. But what do you have to do? Oh, and we're not done. You're not going to get a set of Ginzu knives, but you are going to get this. You're going to get the portal with that $19.99. We're going to put a limited time for that, but it's usually $35 and then $10 for that portal. But Michael said that we can negotiate. So you guys, let's see how many people we get to click on. You need to go to whenyouneedafriend.com, scroll a little bit down till you see the shopping bag or the sponsors page, because they're both, you can go to either one. Click onto this, let's do the sponsors page. I don't know where they did it, but go on there. There's a new special. It's not $45 or $35. It's $19.99. And that includes the portal that we're about to talk to you about. So that's the only way you're going to get this price is if you go through whenyouneedafriend.com, click on the sponsors page or my shop now bag, click on the first alternative care icon and start taking your health back. Because many people lose their life because they don't go to the doctor, because they don't have the money or the time. This eliminates both of those objections. So let's talk about the portal, unless you have something else that you want to add to what I just said.
I just want to add this thing. This price, when we offer this right now, is going to be for a limited time as we do this. We want to be there for people that are hurting right now out in the field, anybody affected by the coronavirus, anybody affected by the business stoppages, anybody that's out there right now that is looking there. This, once you lock it in, is permanent. This will be your rate for now on. So we'll never bounce back or anything like that.
Because you listen to this classroom and because of our friendship and relationship, you guys are all getting healthcare. You get healthcare. You get healthcare. You get healthcare. But this is what's going to happen. It's in the privacy of your own home. If you could see, if I had a tail, it would be wagging right now. I am so freaking excited for all of us because I get to lower my price too.
It's up to 9 people per membership. And no, they don't, like, if your kids are away at college or kids are away at school, you can add them onto that. If you're not related, not married, if you just have a roommate and you consider someone family, you can't remove somebody on the coverage once you've added them on there, but up to 9 people you can add on that. I'm started this, and even once they're part of our family, Lily, what's really important is, as you know, we're doing all sorts of great things that are internalized into our customer base. Well, they're getting access to that stuff when they're a part of it because I had no way to regulate that. So what happens is that, like, you could be part of our membership and people could justify $20 just to be educated on the things that we're working on. You could justify it that way. This is part of something that I need people to support us, but at the same time, I'm giving the most value I could possibly imagine giving. And I just need you guys to just try. You try it once. Guess here's the best part about it. It's month to month. I'm not trying to rope you into something long-term.
No long-term contracts.
No, month to month. You'll see that we've had people that call us and they're sick on a Saturday and it's the first-time customer. Can I get activation? Yeah, we'll pick up your call on a Saturday. Like, we're a family organization that has a mission. My brother, my mom, my aunt, we're all part of this company together, and it's important to us to make you understand this is different. This is different than anything that you've seen. And as we continue to grow and do all these things, and Lily, I consider you part of the extended family here. Yeah. You know, like, I just want you to know that I just need you to realize that you might think that what you're paying for medical cost out there, you go to one urgency care visit and you just missed out on our coverage for the entire year and a half.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. And I have received from even my health share, I have Liberty Health Share, as we've talked about before. They just sent the telemedicine, and I've been trying to get them to incorporate this. And so they have their own, but every time you use it, it's $40. Plus, you know, you're already a member paying monthly. And I'm thinking, well, no, what I have is even cheaper, because now for less than a copay, I pay the whole entire month for my entire family. No, thank you for the offer, but no, I'm going to continue with what I'm doing with Liberty Health, with First Alternative Care. Now, Liberty Health Share is doing their own thing, and other health shares and other insurance companies, they're like throwing it in there, but they're saying, oh, it's free. But every time you use it, it's $20, $40, $60. And you have doctors from all over. But I do want to talk about the portal, because the portal is what many people don't understand, how important this is to have, because if your father would have had a portal, there would have been a warning, or if he would have done his DNA testing, there would have been a warning saying, do not give this person this kind of drug because they will die. So let's talk about the portal.
Sure. What we've created and what I envision to be our desktop once we get to a point, and working with our hospital systems in the future is vital to the success of where I want to take this. But as we work with them, I think it's very important to identify every human being and know what's coming and know what's current, okay? What this software does is it goes through the clinical studies that have been out there, that are probably out there, and it goes through and matches your characteristics. You do a 50-question survey. You'll enter in your blood report if you want to. You can do a 23andMe test and enter in your DNA, and now we've got these factors. No, I don't sell any of your data. No, I'm not doing it for you to get your data. The reason why we don't offer a DNA test is I can't do a DNA test for as cheap as 23andMe can. So I don't want to market it for $275 when it could be $99, you know? And that's the point of everything. I'm not trying to be your Quest Labs or your LabCorp out there to do your blood test if I can't do it as the most expensive. But my software that we've got a contract with that was created by Dr. Joseph Pisano is amazing. And I just want the ability to show people, say, look, you might have a problem with your cardiovascular system. You might have a problem with your muscular system. At least you know, so we can start making steps to make it better. And that's really what this is all about. If most people, believe it or not, are afraid to know what's going on because they don't want to take the accountability steps. But if I'm building a coverage that cares about people like I care about my uncle, my family, and people like that, then guess what? It's time to be accountable. Yeah. And that's what you talk about all the time, is being accountable. So this software that we're going to throw in there for you that you get access for the whole household, okay, is going to allow yourself to get a system status report right now to see where you're at with. But guess what? It's backed by the clinical studies. So you can't say, I'm not giving you opinion. I'm giving you how we're dictating our healthcare right now in a clickable link to show you where it's at. Mm-hmm. And that's how I see when people say, how are you going to be able to do this? Well, I'm going to be proactive. Instead of spending my money and worrying about profit shares, I'm going to spend my money on new technology. I'm going to create an environment where you come in and it's unlimited access to our technology, to our things, where you just feel like, man, we are a part of, when we think of our healthcare, we're not worried because we're with us. Mm-hmm. And that's what people, when you look at your viewership right now, that you empower them all the time because you bring all of these selective, great human beings who are out there living that life and that different thing. But guess what? Most of them are in the cash model. No one understands what that means. Mm-hmm. There is a difference in America in treatments between cash model and insurance model. And there isn't as sophisticated as saying in network and not in network for what you're going. I want to create a membership coverage that you're just with us and we got you. Yeah. And that's what we're here to kind of go with.
Yeah, and you got their back. You got their back. You got their back. That is so important. Now we have some questions. First of all, Victoria, I could just hear you going, what? So that's what she wrote on there, but I could hear that. And so Victoria, I want to say thank you to all of you who are in the classroom. Myrna, Victoria said that she hasn't had healthcare for 5 years. You see, I've been talking about this for a year and or over a year. But people don't get it because because I talk about it all the time. And I'm so glad that we're doing this because when you first started this, it was brand new. It was before telemedicine was so important. And so we did this class, but that's buried somewhere in the classroom archives,
In Seattle, I remember.
We need to have, I know. Yeah. We need to have you come on every month to talk about this because, this is so important. And once you lock into this price, it is always going to be your price. And this price is more than what I've been paying. Price is more than what I've been paying. So I get a discount too. I get a discount. You get a discount.
So let's talk about why I'm able to do that.
Yes.
I'm able to do that because we've grown to a point where we're now a healthcare coverage. And as I grow, instead of pocketing the money, I'm looking for ways to give back. So as we continue to grow, the price will drop. And that's what I'm trying to promise our people, what I'm doing out there for that. It's important for everybody to understand this is a first step for us as we go down this path. And as we continue to do this, it's just, but you're never going to feel better about supporting a company that wants to do more with it. right? That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we have another question from Victoria, and I don't know if this is going to apply, Michael, because I don't know if you've made any discounts or they can get discounts for blood work. So let's say a doctor calls you and there is a suspicion from the doctor that you might need a blood panel, like maybe D or B12, or can they order it for you?
So they're not going to be able to, they're going to be able to prescribe you medication. They're not going to be able to order a blood panel if you're looking for your insurance to pay for it. So how that works when you want your insurance, like whatever your insurance is, to cover something, is that you have to go through their in-network services, which have been trained to know what the costs are, because it's all there. But before COVID, I actually looked at a contract to get everything done, and they pulled it, but it was including blood tests with it that we were going to be able to include.
So that means that perhaps it may be in the future.
Or maybe in the future that I have this ability to order there. We're not going to be, what I want this person to understand is our software is going to be able to identify things for free that don't have costs available to us to help you out right there. And while I would love to have everybody have access to blood panels at all times and to look at the stuff, that's why we created the gut check test, right? It's really about how this is going to work and cost effective wise. And I will tell you from running, from being a part of a lab as it grows, there's definitely cost to running blood panels. There's definitely cost to these things. And once I get this coverage to enough, I can lower the cost of these things, which I have been doing left and right, and lower them so they're more affordable. So an answer, you could go get any blood panel you want to. But if you want someone to pay for that blood panel, you got to have that in-network insurance who's paying the bill.
Yeah, but if you think about it, all the money you save from not having all the insurance costs and all that. So here's a tip, because this is how I discovered an alternative to healthcare. I found out that hospitals, the labs in certain hospitals, have a cash pay. So if you tell them that you don't have insurance, that, something that your insurance would pay $500 for, you might pay $20. So you call them, you tell them that, you find out which labs they are, and you say you're cash pay and you want to know how much vitamin D or B12 is, and they will give you the cash pay cost. And it's usually 75% less than what you would pay for. So it's usually less than your copay to do that. So this is the reason why many of us get sick and don't even know it until it's too late. Our body is telling us that there's something wrong, but we have a limiting belief that it's going to cost too much to find out. It's going to cost a heck of a whole lot more if you wait. So what I'm saying is that with this portal, this whole plan for $19.99 for the listeners, and you have to get it in my website, whenyouneedafriend.com. You will not get this price
on our site
anywhere else but here. And this is something I asked you to do a long time ago. So I'm glad that you said, and he said, when I get to that point, Lily, I'll offer it. And so he called me and said, I am giving this to your listeners. So this is a win-win-win. So I want you guys to go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on to the First Alternative Care. Now I have First Alternative Therapies in the Shop Now bag, but I do have First Alternative Care in my sponsors page. So with First Alternative Care, just click on that. And then you can look at, there's supposed to be a video or something. We just switched the graphics, and I hope Brendan kept the videos in there so that people can watch it. But it is the most amazing thing. I have to tell you a story. This was like a time where, we were on vacation. And this was after having wonderful experiences with First Alternative Care. We were on vacation in a place that we didn't even know what was the closest whatever. And so we had gone for a hike with the kids. This was on New Year's Eve. We had gone for a hike, we went to the beach, we came back, and our daughter and son-in-law, they paid for our New Year's Eve meal. And it was just the most amazing thing. I turned my neck and I had a huge scab on my neck. I don't know if you remember, I told you that, Michael. And my daughter went, "Oh my gosh, Mom, you have blood coming down." Well, I didn't know what it was. It was a bite. I didn't know what kind of bite it was. And Michael, you had a bite issue not too long ago. That's right.
We got started.
That's right. So when we got home, it was like around 10 or to our place that we were staying at. It was like around 11:30 or so. So I started calling, and not only did they reply on New Year's Eve right away, but they also said, since you're not in your home area, would you like for us to find you a 24-hour pharmacy? And I'm like, well, yeah, that would be great. It was a happy ending all the way around. And so I've really used this particular company so much that it has more than paid for itself after the first use. But this is for the entire household. Need I remind you? It's family practice, non-urgent. If you break a bone, go to the emergency. If you step on a crack, go to your mother's, don't break your mother's back, go to the emergency room. And also, if you have a need for dermatology, and 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling for the entire household. Now, the portal that normally costs $10 extra, so that what I just shared with you is $35, but you want to have the portal. That portal has all your blood work. It has your DNA. If you want to do the gut check, how much is the gut check, by the way?
So our gut check is normally $3.99 retail. For anybody that would contact us through you today, we would do it for $3.25.
$3.25. Okay. So that is something that you can do, and it'll tell you what's causing inflammation in your stomach, what foods are causing inflammation. And so that is a wonderful tool that you can use. And there's a coach or a doctor that coaches you through this and helps you kind of stop using the process of elimination, not use the foods, not take the foods for like 3 months, and then retest again to see if all these allergies have gone away. So I
do want to say one thing. She mentioned before about blood panels and blood tests. It's also you can load any blood panels or anything you want to get second opinions from our doctors. You can load what's going on that you want to talk to about and maybe run it by 2 or 3 doctors and book a couple different appointments. That's really kind of the luxury, to talk to a couple different people at a time. You're not limited there when you want to load that. I think that's really interesting. And also, there's a lot of scripts that maybe you couldn't necessarily do through like initial telemedicine visit. But if you have a history and you can upload that history, like there was an example of a woman that needed a heart medication. Normally, they wouldn't prescribe that to you in the first time. But because she had a medical history and she could upload the documents, she was able to get this medication instead of having to go to 3 hours in traffic. It was like this big dramatic thing that we got this report back onto. And so it's kind of like you're already there. They can upload and know what's going on with you. You can upload the documents. It's a complete medical record of yourself.
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely phenomenal. And when you have your children or grandchildren visiting, you can add them. So if they're with you at that time and something happens, you can use this. It's like having a doctor living in your home without having to feed them. Much better.
Works for your Android, works for your iPhone. It's flawless. It's got a 5-star rating review on Apple. Tons of great compliments. And any of the compliments that they don't get, those are people that are paying per click basis. My program does not work like where you see the unlimited. It's unique to the market.
That's right. So you have your own portal. So they use the MD Live. Let's talk about okay. First of all, let me answer this question. When you go to the hospital and you call the laboratories, you do not need a doctor's script. So you call them and you say, I would like a panel of whatever panel they can do. You want D, you want your testosterone, you want your estrogen, whatever they test, and they will give you the pricing. It's very affordable. These are the tips that I learned when I lost my insurance and I never looked back. There's a whole underground movement of people that don't have insurance.
When the lady was speaking about needing a doctor for the blood test, it's just about having the insurance company pay for that. And since that's not something that would apply to us at that moment, there's something like, I can't make another company pay for your stuff. I can't do that. That's not in my arsenal. Eventually, I will be able to do our own internal stuff.
Yes. Okay. So Robin, thank you for that question. How long will this price be available? Because you want to share it with all your friends. That's what I want you to do. Share the link from my page. Just go there. And when you click on it, you'll get the hyperlink, just cut and paste it and send it to as many people. We're going to do this for 3 months, but once you lock it in, you are locked in.
Permanent.
And we had, Michael was more than happy to give me 3 months. So I didn't have to fight that much for you guys. But they're all very generous. The legal family is very generous. And so 3 months. So, but don't wait 3 months, because that's 3 months that you wouldn't have it. Get locked in now and get it going, and just start your savings. Call your children that, and tell them that you want to work this with, if you're old. What if your child is 26 years old or over?
What do you mean?
And they don't live, and they're going to college, but they don't live with you.
Remember what I said.
You don't care. You don't care, as long as the 9 members in your family.
You can't add somebody and delete them off the coverage. So you can't just have a rolling rate of 8 people that you add on every time. Once you add them on, they're on there, and that's it.
And you have a max.
Well, but I'm not going to sit there and nitpick people on this. This is not something I'm not treating it like, aha, I got you. Mm-hmm. I just want people to feel I want them to be proactive. I want them to never think about asking a doctor's opinion. I don't want you to be all Google doctors out there trying to diagnose yourself through the internet. I think that can only lead to a lot of misdiagnosis. So I'd rather you talk to a certified, trained telemedicine doctor. What that means is they had to go through licenses to get accredited in each state to be able to offer you this stuff. This is not somebody that has never done telemedicine. These are the biggest professionals. These are the same ones as every major insurance company uses. The difference is they still charge you a per usage. I am not.
Yes. Okay. So for the next week, this is why it's important to do it urgently. You're getting the portal for the same amount for the $19.99. So let's get this going, because I don't know how long we're going to offer that, because that is something that is beyond what the cost is for first alternative care. But let's say at least a week we're going to do it. We don't know how much, if we can do it longer than that. But I'm very grateful to Michael to allow us to do it for 1 week. So for 1 week, you've got to be like a person on a mission. You got to be what is this? A madman on a mission, or what is that called? I can't remember that whole saying. But the portal is what is so important, because that's where everything resides. There are how many different algorithms? Is it 2.3 trillion different algorithms?
I think it was 2.6 trillion. 2.6 trillion factors when you take into all your DNA, all your blood, all the history. What makes you custom? What you eat, what your habits are. Do you drink coffee? Do you smoke? Do you vape? Do you do this? Do that? And everyone correlates a little bit and moves the meter a little bit in this clinical study. And the greatest part is, even the medication that you're currently on, you can enter it. Any vitamins you're currently on. It even has the ability to tell you what nutrients to take. And no, I'm not trying to sell you anything on there. I've removed any of that mentality. So it's all just general basic factors designed to get you the education you need that's custom to you.
Yes. And so go to whenyouneedafriend.com. So Mike, you know that I need to honor my sponsors, and you are one of them that I honor every day that we are in the classroom. So I want to encourage you guys to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. See, this is where we offer there's so many blessings that are coming to the Lillian McDermott radio show classroom. And one of the reasons why 3 months became so important is that during that 3 months, we're going to be studying the book of Revelation with Dr. Lorraine Day. So that is such a blessing right there. And we want to make sure that you yourself feel that, God is protecting you during these times. And so that 3 months is so special to me, because we'll be able to share God's word during that time. This is not a religious program. This is we're studying the word of God as it's written in the Hebrew Greek Bible. And so I'm sure you've heard about it ad nauseum, but please know you need to sign up for that too. But so I want you to know that when you go to whenyouneedafriend.com and you sign and you register as a subscriber, you get my 90-day challenge to self-love ebook, but you also get all these perks. And so some of them are things like this. You're the only ones. If you're, and this is nationwide, by the way, nationwide. If you live in Kenya or Australia right now or England, I know that I hate excluding you from this. However, if you as an American are traveling abroad and you need advice from your doctor, you can call First Alternative Care if you're a member as well. So this will follow you everywhere you go. When Michael told me about this, I didn't believe him. But anyway, he's proven me that he is a man of his word. Okay, so I just want to mention some of my other sponsors. Not only I want you to subscribe, I want you to also click onto my social media, like and follow. Also go to BitChute, please. Subscribe at BitChute, because a lot of my friends who are also sharing different truths than the mainstream media wants to allow, they're getting shut down. Fortunately, we're still here, but so I need for you to go to BitChute, because that's plan B. But we'd love to stay with Facebook. We'd love to stay with YouTube as long as we can. So I want to ask you to subscribe and follow and like. Now, I want you to scroll a little bit further down when you go in and click onto my sponsors page. That is what keeps this classroom alive. And so Nori Nutraceuticals is an oncology research. Here we go. You see it? You see it? You see it? Nori stands for Nutritional Oncology Research Institute. And they are a coaching program for if you think you have cancer. And so it's a membership. So you get coaching and you get all the supplements and you get a new different lifestyle. Okay, so that's one. Keep Me Safe Organics. You know I brag about Keep Me Safe Organics all the time. Natural, holistic, alternative, no synthetics, no GMOs, beauty products that are unbelievable. We also have the pharmacy in Merritt Island that is converting medicines to, and Ross and Michael knows Ross as well. He's the owner.
Love that guy.
He is amazing. And when I go there, it's like stepping back in time when you used to know your pharmacist. He would do anything for you. And so Live Longer Medical, who's making you as beautiful on the inside. You also, Michael, know Lisa from Live Longer Medical. And so these are my sponsors. We also have affiliate sponsors like Ground Therapy. Oh, we've already been talking about First Alternative Care. They're a sponsor as well. So we've been talking about affiliate sponsors as well. That helps keep the classroom alive. So when you buy something from them, they give a small percentage. And so that's Ground Therapy, Brain Tap, and First Alternative Therapies. We put you there as well, because we need to learn how to manage care using frequency instead of medication, because medication keeps you well enough to take the next pill. Frequency keeps you well, period. And so I want you to figure out ways that you can support my sponsors the way they're supporting the classroom. And finally, you can become a subscriber and an enrolled student in the classroom. So whether it's $1 or $1,000, please consider becoming an enrolled student and donate your time, your talent, or your treasure. Okay, so today we're talking to First Alternative Care. Good news, the First Alternative Care that I've been talking about to you, telemedicine, $19.95, unlimited for your entire family. It is unbelievable. Non-urgent care for general practice and also dermatology. 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling. What is that?
Well, it's urgent care. 80% of all things you would go to an emergency care for, it's going to stop. It's going to solve. Just not broken, but like you can't break a bone. I can't help you over telemedicine. So
when you're saying, well, okay, that's a good point, because earlier I was saying if you break a bone, you need to go to the emergency room. But if you have a UTI or if you have a cough or a cold or the flu, they can call you. I'm going to tell you that one time, Robert, I don't know if I told you about this, Michael, but Robert and I were sitting at dinner and he put his elbows on the table and he had this ball at the end of his elbow. And I looked at him and I went, that wasn't there yesterday. And so he goes, yeah, it was. It's just, and I'm like, no, that wasn't there yesterday. I said, you need to call First Alternative Care. Within 30 minutes, they called Robert back and the doctor told him that he had bursitis. I had diagnosed it first, but then the doctor confirmed it. Anyway, he told him what to do. He kept them. He said, we could offer medications, but this will go away if you do this and this and that. Robert did this and this and that. And within a short period of time, it was done. And that cost us nothing other than the membership fee that you pay. And now instead of $45, you get to pay $19.95 for the entire household. I feel like we're doing like an infomercial.
Right?
It's like, you act now, and what do you get, Michael?
Let me tell you my own story real quick, just so you understand. So I woke up in the morning and my eyes were bloodshot red. And so my mind immediately went to, I got pink eye. And so when you think you got pink eye, because like they were crusted and sealed, you're like worried about your family, you're worried about people around you, you're going through the process. I need to get these eye drops. So it's 8 a.m. I put it in my application app there. Within 3 minutes, my doctor's ready to see me. I'm like, whoa, 3 minutes Friday morning? Cool. I get to the doctor. Now look, I had forgotten that 7 days prior, I was playing a pool basketball game and someone poked me in the eyes. All right. But the doctor was smart enough to ask me, has anybody touched your eyes in the last 2 weeks? Because what I didn't know is, and I was going to go on the path to treat myself for pink eye, but in reality is I needed to go to a vision expert. I needed to see if there was cranial scarring. I had a whole other path. Now I could have wasted $500 to $600 going down this route to the right, but they pointed me in the right direction where all it cost me was $89 to go through my vision and get like the eye drops I needed to get better. And I'm telling you right now, that alone, that peace of mind alone, to just be able to not have to ask your family what's going on, not have to Google what's going on.
What do you think this is, honey?
Yeah. We have a question from somebody, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for you to finish. Okay, so Myrna, she wants to know, how secure is the portal? Because, giving out information, and I totally get it. She says she's very reluctant to have all her information out there.
So the portal is HIPAA compliant.
Great question, Myrna. Thank you so much.
Portal is HIPAA compliant. Every person you add is secure for themselves, meaning that just because you add somebody in your family doesn't mean you get access to their portal or anything like that. Everything's private to your own password that you set. I don't even have access to your stuff. Neither does anybody. Once they give you and you change your access, your password, it's yours and yours only. The same standard of telemedicine is applied to every major healthcare company that they use right now. So there's 26 other major insurance companies that use our platform. I would be considered the 27th healthcare coverage on this. And so I can't imagine anything getting by the compliance or any issues. I haven't seen any since we've had this for about 2.5 years.
Yes. And I want all of you to share this, because the more you see, this is the thing that I guess I need to tell you. If we reach a certain portal or threshold, we could possibly keep this open a little bit longer. So tell all your friends now, because I want this to be always for the Lillian McDermott radio show, classroom listeners, followers, viewers. I want this to always be a safe place where you can get just about anything, because we're all in choice. We're in choice. So let's spread the word as fast as possible and get people to commit. Now, this isn't a 1-year contract or anything to that effect. This is a month to month to month to month. And so, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to share this with all your friends. You want to, like, for example, there's apartment complexes, there's so many different, organizations, there's so many different, places that you can go to that you go, most people aren't insured. They don't have insurance. They can't afford it, or maybe they don't have the time. So this is the objection. This overcomes every objection that you might have. And I think that what Myrna is talking about is there's a lot of hackers out there. I don't know if I'm correct with this, Myrna, but nobody will be able to see. This is no different than giving your information at a doctor's office. They have to comply by the same standards. Like like Michael cannot see my information. My information can only be seen by the doctor. The person who answered, and they're so friendly at First Alternative Care. The times that I have not been able to log in and I need help, They are like spot on it. And so I can't say enough about this. And Michael, I am just in awe of what you and your mom and your family has been able to do, because this, normally you could say, okay, well, this is probably worth more than $45, but you started at a price point that was, most telemedicines out there. So even if you have telemedicine, most telemedicine are per use. So they might be free, but they're per use. That's how they get you. And that mentality comes again, oh, I don't want to pay for it. It's done. You got it. It's assurance, not insurance. It's assurance that you are going to do the right thing for your health. And you could call 10 times a day, right? You're not going to want to, but you can do it.
There's no limitations to when you're on our membership. That's what I like about it. And again, the trick is to make the common the doctor available to everybody, custom to what they want, whatever they want to talk about, personal. Get people off diagnosing themselves off the Google internet. Get them more in a personal prevention mentality, and then let's continue to grow this together. See what's possible, because the things that we're going through, the things that we're going every year, as I got some new stuff coming out this year that's going to blow your mind. What we're going to be adding to this stuff as well. I'm learning the system. I'm learning how I can get this done. And I love people like Lily who are out there making a difference. And the education, the things that she's finding, you guys don't know how hard it is to be in this world on this side, to be part of this movement, because this is a movement. This is about how healthcare should be: safe, effective, reliable. This is what I want to be a part of.
And I am glad to be a part of that, because it's pretty lonely when you start talking about food as medicine, or when you heal your past traumas, that many of the illnesses leave your body. There's so many different things that I say and talk about here in the classroom. Like tomorrow, we're going to be talking about race relations. Those are very difficult topics. But we need to have them, because people are afraid, and fear does not come from God. And this is the year of bold. This is the year of bold. This is the year of 2020 and seeing clearly and getting off the trance that we've been in, thinking that we're safe. We have got to create our safety. And so these are different platforms, different ways. And I want you guys, as soon as this class is done, I want you to go to my website. Please click on First Alternative Care. Go to the shop now, or if you don't see this special for the classroom, the $19.99, then call me or text me at 407-373-5959. I think my Joe, who's just been amazing, did upload the new graphics for that. So if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to ask questions, because that is how we stop. This is how we stop. I want to talk about this fear that is in us, to not want to, that lack mentality, the lack of mentality that we all carry, that we can't afford healthcare, that we can't afford to go to the doctor, we can't afford the time, we can't afford. This is lack mentality, and the mentality that this deceiver wants us to have. And we need to be bold. We need to be bold and say, I am no longer going to fall into this mindset. So, okay. So with that in mind, Myrna do the doctors have more of a holistic approach?
So the thing about these doctors that you're going to like more than there is they're not concerned about billing codes. So they're not going to be concerned about, most of the time when you go, let me just tell you, when you go to a doctor.
That is so true, Michael. That is so true.
You're going through a doctor's experience. You're going to be able to, you're not afraid about what you're telling them, because you're just talking to a friend. They're not concerned about how they're going to bill your time or how they're going to charge you or whatever. They can't. There's no nothing they can do. So you can have a more open conversation with them about how you believe and what you want to do and how you want to do it than anybody before, because none of that is going to be a part of this big eternal database or documents. There's no pre-qualifications to join our coverage. You don't even need a social security number if you're coming into the United States for a period of time and just need a coverage for a small period. Right. I'm working a lot with immigration services.
Or a large period of time too. So if there are people that are from other countries and they don't have insurance, they're going to be here for a long time, or even if they have insurance, but they don't even have to have their social security number to get safe care.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
in answer to your question, look, it's just a different experience because I don't think you've ever talked to a doctor that wasn't worried about a billing code. I'm saying like it's a different experience.
Well, I will tell you that when I got bitten, they wanted to prescribe antibiotics. And I told him, no, I'm not going to take antibiotics. So he told me an alternative, which was something else that I was able to do. So, Michael, I am so excited. We're going to continue the Teacher's Pet. So if you're listening on podcast, please continue. You can always come to our site to listen live and join us. And so for all of you, hang on, because we're going to have another conversation with Michael with the Teacher's Pet. Michael Legel of First Alternative Care. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And I want everybody to have First Alternative Care. Please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Michael Legel wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
Much fun. I love giving. I love giving. And this is an opportunity for you to even get more perks from being a subscriber and watching the classroom. So if you are going to make this happen, do it now. Do it now. Okay, Michael, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is there are two ways to do this. You can, if you fall in love with a doctor, you can request that doctor, can't you? Let's talk about that. Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself.
No, as long as they're available, that doctor might. The beautiful thing about our contracts is that that doctor has the freedom to come and go, to be on there, and that's part of what you're offering them on the other side of this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fall in love with a doctor and they decide not to work that week, I can't commit to that. But you can request a specific doctor once you've gotten used to that one. But I will say to you that I personally like the first available always time, because I love to make sure and check in on those things and to see if there's any difference. And I've had the greatest interactions with these guys and women, because I'm not afraid to tell them what's going on or what I'm thinking or how I'm thinking about it. Neither are you, right? So it's really interesting in how they'll adapt their philosophy, and then they give you a summary of all these different options, right? So they're not worried, and you're not worried, and you're in this great conversation back and forth, and you get to how to get better.
Yep. And there are no billing codes, like you said. That was brilliant. I'm glad that you said that, because for every doctor that does take insurance, they have to see a patient every 7 minutes in order to break even, in order to make a dent. And then they have to sell you all these other things. That's why I bring holistic, alternative, and natural products to my doctors that are cash pay, that if people want to try them, they can try them. And that's why I bring Avasia. For those of you who have pain, if you go to the Shop Now bag and click on to the First Alternative Therapies, you'll see your choices there as well. You have over-the-counter Avasia and you have prescription Avasia. So, and you even have the facelift Avasia. So anyway, so go ahead, Michael.
It's really cool though. Think about this. Anybody that gets this coverage gets part of becoming of our customer. Our customers, we do these custom webinars for free all the time that have these top end stuff or concepts of how to heal things, how to get people better, how to do all this stuff, right? Well, they get free access to that. And that's even like a thing you're there. So if they have a family member that has like carpal tunnel or plantar fasciitis, well, they're going to already have an inside source of how to get, how to help that. Yeah. And it's a beautiful way of how we're doing that. And I'm surprised how many people we get to come in and look at that stuff. And I'm looking at things like how you're looking at me, and you are so like-minded of how we see solutions, And
sometimes like we'll sit there and we'll talk for hours.
Yeah.
And the original conversation that we were supposed to start just didn't happen. We need to go back to that and finish our first conversation. Yeah. It's funny.
It's why I love being in banking right now. Like why I got into the banking, right? I told you I got our first clinics funded that are going to be there, and I got that done. It's so crucial to understand, if I really wanted to do this, to understand that aspect of it. But I feel like I'm going through a little mini school session the last 4 months about how this is done. And I'm so I'm so excited to get past this COVID fear where things get opened up and things get back to normal and things go back, because I'm regenerative. I feel like we're getting there and we're closer to doing this, and change is happening. And I've done this on the ground floor without having to really advertise and do all that kind of stuff. And now I'm seeing I'm seeing the benefits. I'm hearing the stories. I'm hearing the things. And Lily, it's just, I feel like it's happening. I see it happening with the different people we're talking to, the different things they're solving. They're looking outside the box. They're looking safer. And that's what I want to be a part of, you know? And even Trump the other day, however you want to say it, even though I don't know what this means when he passed that executive order of lowering the drug costs, to me, the more people that look at the word PBM and understand what is going on and why our independent pharmacies are getting crushed by this PBM entity that's owned by the insurance, and they learn about it, they're like, wait a minute, how is that allowed? No. This is what's happened. And I just feel like more and more awareness and more knowing what's going on. And when they realize your healthcare is more monetarily, I mean, that mentality. And that's what I love about these doctors. They're not incentivized by trying to present you on some specific script that they get compensated backdoor on.
And they have the freedom to listen to what you have to say and listen to what you need and what you want. And so, you know, when you're talking about all these different, you know, what else is out there? But, you know, you're talking about the PBMs, but what about managed care? That is the biggest ripoff ever. But there are some benefits to it. But when you are not
managed care.
What I'm talking about, okay, so that's the other name for it?
Part of the same entity, yeah.
Oh, it's the same entity. Okay, so they're different functions, but the same.
Basically, what they do is they oversee the distribution of the payments to the individual pharmacies, or they oversee the payments to the individual practices.
Correct.
And then they negotiate back and forth. And a lot of clinics aren't profitable because they wait on insurance to pay their bills, and they're already negotiating. Imagine this: you're paying insurance. And they're negotiating on every rate.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've got $100 bill. Insurance is going to pay you $60. Well, where did we get into this? That like, oh, what are you paying for? And at the end of the day, billions of dollars of profits go to this organization, and now they're allowed to buy. Now the same company that owns your insurance company owns your PBMs in the state of Florida. What?
To me, that's a conflict of interest. So there are a couple of questions here, and hi, John, and I'm so grateful. Okay, so we have Robin, and Robin, I'm so glad you're not listening on podcast, that you're live today. So thank you so much for listening today. I know she's a huge podcast fan, and I am grateful for you too. Okay, so this is a great question, Robin, and it's going to blow you away. So the question is, so many people need dietitians. Are they available? It's even better. It's even better because the portal, let's say you have goals and you have desires. Let's say you want to eat a certain way. And I'm going to let Mike address this, but you're able to do all of that, and it'll help you. It's going to be like like having a coach. So share a little bit about the portal and how the portal helps with with your diet and nutrition.
So the portal has a section in it where if you want to click on specific types of like keto diet or vegetarian, where it provides you with ingredients and recipes that you will find tasty and nutritious, that's been documented as great meals. Also, if you are very concerned, I want you to know that we've created the gut check test for this exact reason. I mean, you will not find first of all, it's accurate, which is very important to me, what the antigens reproduces. We talked about this, right? But it tells you exactly what food causes inflammation in your diet. And you're going to be shocked about the certain kind of foods. I mean, for me, it was egg whites. I couldn't have egg whites. I couldn't have broccoli. For my mom, it was something, she couldn't have tuna, she couldn't have salmon. Okay. For the individual that really, and it comes with a doctor's consultation through the entire process. So we do have programs in place that we offer and do give discounts when you're part of our membership. We do give discounts for you on those tests, right? In terms of, do they just offer a doctor dietitian part of the 1999? No, we don't just offer a dietitian as part of that program. The software, though, will help you with knowing the right nutrition you might need. It will give you recipe ideas. And then eventually I have to have more clinical studies available where we'll integrate the gut check test into the software. But I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. So in a situation that you have goals, or it's going to measure your lifestyle, your age, your medication, your family history. And what's the fifth one? I'm forgetting about the fifth one.
Genetics.
Exercise. Oh, okay.
Genetics.
Okay. So lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, it does, but they have to have clinical studies to support it. So,
Yeah.
You're not going to have all the new up-to-date stuff that we find, right? Because they can't afford the clinical studies. They're too expensive.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that I don't want everybody to understand is the biggest difference between why they put this huge barrier in expensive clinical studies was to keep companies out from even doing that without selling the company or selling it to the investors in the first place.
Yeah.
You add this huge financial barrier to get to the market, and where pharmaceuticals, where they're presenting at 5,000% margins, they don't have to play by those barriers. And once they have the same people under salary, they just redo and recycle and regurgitate, and that's how you get to where you are.
Yeah.
It's a subject that I'm learning a lot about over my last 8 years.
Now, Michael, can we talk about these clinics that you're planning for the future?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So imagine walking into a place, and perhaps the idea has grown since we last spoke, but imagine like a gym. You go to a gym and you work out. But imagine if this wasn't a gym, that this was a place where you can get holistic treatment. Imagine that you can just have the patches and put it on yourself, or maybe lay on a pulse electromagnetic frequency bed, or maybe receive some energy therapy or whatever it is. Imagine a membership where you have access to all of this, like you would have access to Walgreens or Walmart, or, now you can get blood work at CVS, and you can get your flu shot at all these places. That's not necessarily going to help you so much as being able to go in there and do these treatments at a cost. So share a little bit more about what this is going to look like in the future.
So I have a lot. First of all, I'm very blessed to have other like-minded business owners out there who are creating versions of our model using similar technologies, and we're helping them grow. And the reason why I'm freely displaying my vision and my dream is because go do it. Because I want this to be everywhere. I don't care if it's about us. I just want this to be the way we do healthcare. So much we are so consumed with the purchase, with the sale, with the billing, hey, pay me right here for this action, that we forgot what our healthcare should be. As we evolve and continue to grow as a humankind and become more and more aware of everybody else, and no more understands the need for this now, look around, look at anything, and you can see there's a need for this right now. I'm going to be building, I promise you this, a model that allows you to come in unlimited access and get access to a lot of the technology that doesn't cost us to repeat. Okay. What that means is that if it costs us, $10 every time you come in, then maybe we charge $12 or $13 when you use it. Okay. But if it doesn't cost us, then it's unlimited access to it. And a lot of this really expensive technology, once you put it down and it's available to you, is very easy for people to use, but it's so amazing. Right? You get a hurt and you need to, you got issues with chronic pain and you want back treatment. Well, you come on in, hang out.
Yeah.
Around like-minded people,
That's right.
and we just treat you for free as you're there because it's part of one, just like the gym. When you go into a gym, you can work out whenever you want to. They don't charge you every time you walk into the gym. You're there and you put in the work effort. You could go in every day. You can go in a couple days a week. Okay. Yeah. I want people in there every day. I hope I come into work and I have my oversee people that own my clinics that come into work, and their biggest thing is 50, 60 people are in there enjoying life, getting better. And it's going to be affordable because it's going to be a one low cost monthly cost. And then they can add extra for the members of the family, because I'm not trying to create something. I'm just trying to pay for the cost of having everything there, have the people there that work for us make good money, not ridiculous salaries that they're trying to make and buy mansions on, but they're going to be rewarded by a system we've created where they have to improve your health. So their bonuses are going to come in if they've improved your health score. They're incentivized to get you to come in there, right? And that's where we come up with that health score grade when we talk about the software. And then if we do need to go through urgency care, we do need to go through the, because this is holistic, is this wholeness environment. But look, we're not going to ignore that maybe sometimes you need to go this route for something else. And that doctor service is available as part of your membership. So you get the best of both worlds. And then the last piece will be hospital care, which I will be hopefully negotiating on every hospital level to get my own care. But if I can't, then we'll just call it catastrophic care. And you can just fit catastrophic care within our membership coverage. And the truth is, I've seen the plan. I have it. I see clinics growing right now with their plan. They have different models with it slightly, but what they don't have is a lot. They don't have the following that we have to support our company nationally, first of all, which is great. But we're also going to have the ability to help other companies. So when we find technology available, when we travel, we see it, and something's truly amazing, I'll be able to grab that technology, bring it into the clinic, and make it unlimited access to it. So once every month, we could do these announcements. Hey, today we have this, and today we're launching this, and today we're bringing this. So it becomes a fun zone of technology preventative health. And I hope that it becomes the new Starbucks. Because guess what? We go to Starbucks, we go to these coffee shops, and we need our pumped up energy. Pulse Magnetic Field's got a little thing called Vital. You push a button, get you all charged up, right? That's the alternative way approach. That's the healthy way approach. And if I'm right, it moves the meter a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong, I tried. And that's where I came to this dream. And I came to this after traveling all over the country and listening to my pharmacy owners and listening to go through there and listening to the customers going, man, I wish my coverage paid for this. I wish my coverage did more. That was the most traumatic experience was wanting to help people who are putting their money into another area and needs that money to help them, but the money's not helping them. So I've got to create a funnel where the money goes to where it really helps. And that's my idea with my clinics. And that's what we're going forward with. And I'm going to commit to myself to open up the first one, our own model, by January 21st, 2021.
That's awesome.
I'm committing to that one. And we've also got franchisees who are doing their own versions out there of their own model with different routes they're taking. And one has 5 clinics right now and they're growing. I'm very proud of them. The other one has 2 clinics growing out there. I'm really proud of them. And they're doing our technology. They're using it and they're getting great results. And they're going in different directions as I see it. But you know what? There's entirely possible. And I heard of another one today that was doing it. And I didn't even know that was coming up with that model, right? That model of take care of your customers first, get them healthy first, and just have that. It doesn't need to be you know why it doesn't need to be an astronomical amount? Because I don't want to negotiate with myself for insurance payments and wait to get paid. I just need a small amount to come in. And for that amount, and there's, let's get 1,000 people on this in a city and let's provide a truly change of healthcare.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So let's recap. For those of you who get this, and I've been talking about this for a while now, but I guess I need to do this once a month or something so that people will go, what? Like Victoria did, what? With all these exclamation points. So what is it worth to you to have 24/7 access to a doctor? Now, unless you break a bone and it's an emergency situation, you can call them. And on the, if you go to whenyouneedafriend.com and you click onto my sponsors page and you look, or you go to the shopping bag, wherever it is, it'll show you that it has what the different reasons why you would call. Mm-hmm. And many of them, like if you have the flu or if you have diabetes, for example, Michael, if somebody has diabetes and they want to manage their own, is that something that, or high blood pressure, or
the two pitfalls that I have right now that I cannot figure out how to get around the cost to what I want to do. And honestly, from what I'm looking back, I think it's like 80% of what they're charging insurance for anyways. Diabetic medication and cancer programs, cancer medication, cancer treatments. Those two things, from what I've seen, they're outside my wheelhouse right now. What I can do is, like, let's say you had diabetic neuropathy. I have technology I can send you that I know works for that. Like if you got certain things, so it's not just the fact that they have the doctor services that if you have broken bone, once they're a customer of ours, they could call in and say, hey, I have carpal tunnel or I have something. We have plans for that they can get technology for that to get better. That's part of them when they're inside of that, right? Mm-hmm. So we do all that kind of stuff, but I haven't figured around the diabetic medication, and I haven't figured around the cancer side. And I do believe that if you have any concerns on those two things, you do need to have major healthcare coverage for right now, because for the best of what I've seen, it makes up 80% of the cost, 80 to 85% of the cost of everything.
Well, as I mentioned, Nori, they are a membership. They have that kind of concept that you have. That's why I fell in love with the concept is, they provide all the supplements, because if you have cancer, you're not chemotherapy deficient. You're actually deficient in something. And mm-hmm. So those are some of the tests that you can find out. And Nori gives the supplements and with the coaching and it's a membership. So if you have cancer and you want to start with an alternative and give the body what it needs so that it naturally heals, that's one thing. So when you have insurance, the only thing that they're going to pay for is chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. So it's up to you what decision you want to make, but those are alternatives for them. So let's go ahead and recap. Let's recap. So we're talking about unlimited family practice, unlimited dermatology, and 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling for the entire household. The household is up to 9 people, right, Michael? Mm-hmm. Up to 9 people that can live in your household, or a student that lives away from your household. You just need to enter them in that portal. Also, plus the portal that has over 2.6 trillion different algorithms and different combinations that fits your thumbprint, because you can enter your blood work in there, you can enter your DNA testing, you can enter your gut check test, whatever it is, you can put that there so that when the doctor calls, let's say, for example, for me, I'm allergic to I found out that I'm allergic to codeine, because codeine converts into morphine in my body. So if I were to get a dose of codeine, which you can get over the counter, I can overdose as if I'm having morphine in my body.
So the only connection they might have to that is if there's a study based on your genetics that are in there that would show that.
I do have my DNA. Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's how a way that the software could pick that up. Yeah. That you would have an issue there.
And that's why you say, go to 23andMe, get your DNA. That way it's up there, it's uploaded. I
can't compete with their pricing. I didn't even feel, me, like I don't feel good about myself if something doesn't make sense or not right. So we were being offered to do our own tests in our lab, and it's gonna be $275, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So I want to encourage you. And that 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling, most people have to overcome going to a doctor's office and facing the other people that are there. And you're doing this in the privacy of your own home, whether you're home or you're traveling, you always have access to first alternative care.
Don't just think of yourself when you're thinking about that. You have people that you care about, just like how people share Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu. I get Netflix, someone might be using over here, right? It's important that somebody's like, they watch it, they say they thank you later. You have little different profiles. When you talk about this same kind of model, you don't know if a loved one really needs help, and they might not want to tell you, but it's important that it was there. And I firsthand can account to that. So this mental health section and why we didn't take it off or why we kept it on was something that when I was learning I specifically am talking about inpatient, outpatient, patient mental health services I'm going to be making headway in this area. You want to talk about I'm motivated in that specific model going forward. Mm-hmm. But like to be able to have that there for a loved one that they can get access to and not have to worry about what somebody else thinks. Remember, once they get access, it's their own stuff. That's important. And you know what? It'll make you feel good about yourself. Okay. It really will.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I want you to start tagging everybody. Everybody. You should think, I mean, sit down and think about, not just because this isn't just for you. This is for everybody who is a follower of the Lillian McDermott radio show. And so they need to make sure they go to the website, subscribe, because you know, you need to subscribe to the channel. You need to subscribe to the website and click on to the First Alternative Care. So go to the sponsors page or the shopping bag and click on First Alternative Care. And this will change your life. That one little click, and just fill out your information. I have been working with First Alternative Care. I've been a member of First Alternative Care now. It's been like a year and a half now. Hasn't
You know, time's flying by the way that
Yeah.
works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was November of a couple of years ago.
I think it's like a year and like to say like 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
Gosh,
It's at least 2 years when I first told you about it. You came on, then you joined.
I came on board right away after I looked into it. Because even though I love Michael, I always verify what he says.
It does sound too good to be true. I have to admit, like, I'll talk to people about it and they'll look at me and I'm like, they'll look at me like I'm trying to like hustle them. And like the first time someone uses it, I have a customer for life, or they, you know, like, it feels good. It is definitely a savings program. There's no doubt about it. And if you don't think that you're going to the doctor once in a year, good luck. Like I'm one of the healthier people that I go through steps to stay healthy. And I found myself using this at least 6 times so far this year on just random stuff like the eyes. I you know, like just couldn't believe it. But stuff happens, man. And when stuff happens, when you associate, you might not go to that doctor when you know you got a $90 minimum bill coming to you. Could be $360, could be $770, like my one doctor bill when I got my spider bite, right? You don't know what bill's coming at you. And when you know that there's no bill associated to it, you just use it right away.
You do. But you know, at first I will warn you. You still have that mindset. Oh, I don't want to go to the doctor. But then you realize, oh, they can come to me. What? Let me call. Let me see if this works. The first time you call, that'll be your attitude. I'm going to see if this works. And that'll be the attitude. But then after that, you'll be hooked. Once you realize, I just had a doctor do a house call for $19.99 for the entire family a month. That's your membership a month, with the exception of the behavioral health counseling. That is 3 hours a year. But can you imagine unlimited dermatology? How many of you would go see a dermatologist for that little mold in your back if you knew you had unlimited? Or how many of you would go talk to or call your doctor if you were feeling a certain way? Maybe you were tired all the time, or maybe because, or whatever it is, because now you know you've got a membership. So take advantage of it. Now, here's the deal. 1 week, who was it that asked me that? I think it was Robin, or maybe it was, I don't know who asked me this. 1 week for the portal. The portal is crucial. I want you guys, we have a threshold. And if we can get to that threshold, we'll extend it for the entire 3 months. And if we reach that next threshold, because the more people do this, the more affordable it's going to be for everybody. So because we were at $45 a month and now we're at $20 a month, or $19.99. I better say $19.99.
Yeah, okay. It's $19.99. You said $95. I don't think anybody's gonna complain about 4 cents. But
did you say $99 or $95?
It's $19.99 because I wanted the nines there. I thought it was cool.
Okay. So $19.99. So let's be a maniac on a mission. That's what I was looking for. That was the word. That was the saying. Be a maniac on a mission. Think of all your friends that you could bless today with this. And by the way, if you decide that you want to look into Avasia, which we just did a class with Tim Smith. Go check out it was so wonderful to sit with him and talk. If you enter Lily 10 on the code, you get free shipping, which is going to be worth a lot for you as well. So there's lots of gifts. And so encourage people to join the classroom and be a part of it. Now, before we go.
We have rental programs for those things too, Lily. And that's really important for them to know, is that when you're part of our coverage, when you're part of our coverage base, or you're working with one of our clinics, we have rental programs, right? So when you're doing this and let's say you have arthritis or you have carpal tunnel or you have plantar fasciitis, know that we have a rental program that comes to you. You rent it for a few weeks, you return the device, and you've literally saved yourself hundreds, if not thousands of dollars and solved the solution. So we're more than just coveraging for there. We want to become part of the family. Whereas if something's going on, just like how something's going on with you, you call us and we help figure this out. That's right. And that's really like cool. And yes, you get the free shipping, but part of this culture is you get part of it. It's nice.
Yes, absolutely. So start tagging. And Victoria, you are always the teacher's pets. I think I've seen her tag so many of her friends and family members or whoever you did. And also you can you can share. There's a little arrow. Click that share button and send it the whole show to them. I'm also going to do a little thank you, and I'm going to make abbreviated version of this. And so that way, if they don't want to watch the whole class, because after they hear 1999 health assurance, because you're taking care of you're assuring that you'll have a doctor call you back, and you said within 15 minutes. But I'm going to say
like 3 or 4 minutes right now. It's insane how fast it is.
Wow. Okay. So when it's time. Now you can go ahead and click on the link, buy whatever you want, check it out. I've been on it for almost 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. It could be the tiniest little thing. You'll pick up get the doctor. Stop diagnosing yourself. I always say be your own ND, but use counsel to help you as well. So, and like-mindedness. And let me tell you, when you tell a doctor that you want to do this holistically and they're not getting paid extra for it, they will listen to you. And it's amazing. 100%. They will. Different. And if you by chance need a prescription, the doctor will order it to your pharmacy. That's one of the things you enter in the portal, which is your pharmacy. And if you're traveling, you tell them you're traveling, and they will find somebody for you, a place for you to get your prescription.
There's an app that searches the closest pharmacy based on where you're located personally, or you can enter in a zip code. It's very, very easy to use.
Okay. So final words, Mr. Michael Legel of First Alternative Care. What would you like people the last word before we go?
I just want to say it's a pleasure being in the classroom. It's a pleasure being part of this community. It's better to be a part of your extended family. And from everybody here, you have my guarantee that if you have any issues with this coverage, there's a money back guarantee behind this. You just have to call and tell me any issues you ever have. We've had 0 complaints since we've done this. It's important to us to keep growing. We need your support. It's vital to our growth. So we are giving as much as we can, and we need your support as well. So thank you for this time, Lily.
Oh, anytime. And, I think we need to do this more often, because I've been talking about First Alternative Care. We've talked about Avasia, and I think people are finally waking up. They're waking up, and this requires, because it's very difficult to explain what First Alternative Care is in a very short period of time. And so having this time with you and having people listen and get excited like we are, it's invaluable. So make sure that you share this with your friend. We have 1 week for the portal. You get the portal with the $19.99 for your entire household, and it is safe. They comply by the regulations for the FAC. What are the regulations that you guys comply by?
Honestly, I don't have them memorized right now, but on each consent thing, they're laid out for you. I think it's the NLAD, and there's NHCQA, I think it is, but I might have gotten the abbreviations wrong on the top of my head.
Yes.
I didn't see that coming, but I think it's the NCQA. NCQA is one of them, and then
you have to abide by the telemedicine guidelines and the HIPAA guidelines, and you have a secure portal as well. If you guys have any questions for me, as you know, you can always call me at 407-373-5959. And here's the deal. You can choose in, you can choose out. Take advantage of this. We only have a short period of time to take advantage of it. But if you act now, we might be able to continue this a little bit longer. So let's see if we can make these thresholds start working for all of us. Don't hoard this information. Share this information. Help us continue to grow in the direction that Michael Legel and the Legel family, Brenda, and by the way, I want to give Brenda a shout out, because if it weren't for her, then none of this would have triggered into you, Michael,
None
because
of it would have happened.
you were a successful corporate guy, and now you're a successful healing, holistic, alternative guy as well.
It's a great way to be, though. I'll tell you that. It's a great purpose in life.
Yes. And everybody's saying thank you, Michael. So, and I'm grateful that you guys understand that this is so special that we wanted to stop and do a class today just for you. So take advantage of it. Now, many of us want to be healthy, but what are we willing to do that? Like the great philosopher Meatloaf says, I would do anything for love, your marriage, your health, empowerment. But what Meatloaf says is, but I won't do that. We're done talking about what we won't do. It's time to shift our mentality and start thinking about what we will do. Will you share this information? Will you sign up today? Because today is all you got. You got today. And use this. And if you decide that you don't like it, you can always opt out. So we're going to say goodbye for now. Michael, it's a privilege to know you and your family, and I'm looking forward to seeing what great things you will accomplish in the future.
Till next time, Lily.
Okay, we'll see you.